It's Tuesday, August 30th, 2024. Trouble in Kamalala land. Joe Biden committed impeachable offenses and everybody yawned. And another scalp in the woke corporate DEI hoax. Next on the AM Update. Well, the Democrat National Convention got underway yesterday. The themes for each day of the week yesterday was for the people. Jill Biden, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, former that is, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, they all spoke. Tuesday's theme is a bold vision for America's future. Wednesday is a fight for our freedoms, and Thursday is for our future, and that will be when Vice President Harris will accept the convention's nomination for president. But among those who are actually not going to be in attendance for that is Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman, and others not going to be there for the acceptance speech for Kamala Harris or from Kamala Harris at the Democratic National Convention again on Thursday. Does that spell trouble? That is really odd that both Obama and Biden won't be in attendance for Harris's nomination speech, and prominent figures like Josh Shapiro and Senator John Fetterman won't be there either. Probably about the best descriptor of the Democrat National Convention that I could think of, given we have a facility or a mobile facility there for baby killing and self-sterilization, among other things. There's a blow-up figure of an IUD. About the best descriptor was this from Margot Cleveland over at The Federalist, who wrote on X yesterday, only 1 hour into the Dem convention in Chicago and it's already total chaos. 4 of the men's rooms have already run out of tampons. Hispanic caucus and Latino caucus meetings were double booked in the same room, and somebody accidentally left an American flag in the main conference area. Nightmares. Again, that's satire. Although the first time I read that, I thought, wow, that's entirely plausible. What does that say? The Democrats also released their official platform, and during the course of that platform, it's mentioned Biden's second term 19 times. Yes, the Democrat platform mentions in Biden's second term 19 times. Somebody over at the copy editor's office wasn't doing their job. Also included in the Democrats' platform is a pledge to pass the U.S. Citizenship Act. What is the U.S. Citizenship Act? It's actually the most radical amnesty bill that's been known to this country yet. It provides amnesty for human traffickers and gang members, no welfare restrictions at all for illegals. It lets deportees return to the country, and other details as well. Again, that is included in the official Democrat platform is the U.S. Citizenship Act, the worst and most radical amnesty bill ever. Donald Trump was on the campaign trail yesterday in Pennsylvania, where he provided these remarks.
But we will not let this happen. We're not going to let it happen to our country. 78 days from now, Pennsylvania is going to tell her that we've had enough, that we can't take it anymore. And comrade Kamala Harris, you're fired. Get out. You're not doing the job.
Over the weekend, Kamala Harris was also in Pennsylvania, where she had these wise words. Check out this Kamalala gook.
That's what our election is about. Our election is about understanding the importance of this beautiful country of ours in terms of what we stand for around the globe as a democracy. As a democracy, we know there's a duality to the nature of democracy. On the one hand, incredible strength when it is intact. What it does for its people to protect and defend their rights, their liberty, and their freedom. Incredibly strong and incredibly fragile.
So there are some more deep thoughts with Kamala Harris there. Incredibly strong, yet at the same time, incredibly fragile. I'm not sure how that works. Of course, the one thing that she was right about there, just not the way that she probably meant it, is that democracy is indeed strong when it's being manipulated for the purposes of the elitists in any given country that practices said democracy. And of course, that's what she really means, but of course, that's not what she was trying to communicate. Speaking of our sacred democracy, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar says our sacred democracy is so under attack that the Democrats had to suspend democratic principles in order to save it.
Let me ask you about President Biden, because this convention is, of course, about the top of the ticket. It's also about honoring the legacy of Joe Biden, his presidency, his commitment to public service. You've known him a long time. You've worked closely with him. I wanted to ask ask you about what do you think the hall is going to be like tomorrow night when he speaks?
There is going to be so much love for Joe Biden. There's going to be tears of joy when he walks into that hall. And what he has done, and I love that a major focus of this is going to be on democracy. He literally saved our democracy in the U.S.
I'm at the point now where I really do believe these people actually believe their own talking points and have no idea whatsoever. Like if you're waving your hand in front of your face, they would not even blink. Did you hear what just happened there? Jen Psaki, that's on MSNBC, just asked Amy Klobuchar what the reaction to Joe Biden is going to be. The person that they just staged a coup against. And Amy Klobuchar says that there's going to be tears because he saved our democracy. There's no other way to explain that other than they just really believe it. Not even the worst gaslighter in the world could pull off what they're pulling off with a straight face. The House Oversight Committee yesterday released their preliminary investigation into an impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden. They found that he committed impeachable offenses. And Hunter Biden's not a good guy. And their relationships with other associates of their family were not good. Obstruction of justice, improper financial stuff. And everybody just yawned. Sorry, I can't have more interest in this than House Republicans have because nothing was ever going to come of this anyway. From what I've heard, it was an actual battle to even have this released. That's how bad Republicans are. They can't even throw out red meat anymore. So I'm not going to get more upset or excited or into this than House Republicans are. Something I am interested in, though, is this from Robbie Starbuck. He is the conservative activist and filmmaker who has been on a tear recently, making sure that a number of brands and corporations who are traditionally associated with traditional America, middle America, who have bowed the knee to diversity, equity, and inclusion and ESG junk are actually paying the price for it and letting people know, their own customers know, that the leadership of these companies isn't actually aligned and is in opposition to their values. Well, he recently pointed his sights at Harley-Davidson, the motorcycle manufacturer, about their president's words on things like diversity, equity, and inclusion, and found that that company's leadership is, in fact, very, very woke, or at the very least, kowtowing to the woke mob. Well, Harley-Davidson apparently got the message loud and clear and released a statement yesterday outlining their plans for no more DEI functions. They're no longer going to be forcing supplier diversity spending goals. They're no longer going to be participating in the human rights campaign. See that as radical rainbow jihadist scoring. They actually do that. They score companies based on how well they kowtow to sexual degeneracy. The sponsorship activities that a company says are actually changing and will focus exclusively on motorcycling, first responders, active military, and veterans. Again, another company, another corporation that is actually now bowing the knee to their own customer base instead of a tiny mob of very upset libs. And finally, broadcasting legend Phil Donahue died yesterday at the age of 88. He's known for a lot of things. He's before my time, by and large. But I saw this clip going around yesterday of a time he interviewed the esteemed economist Milton Friedman, and it was a masterclass on Economics 101.
Did you ever have a moment of doubt about capitalism and whether greed's a good idea to run on?
Well, first of all, tell me, is there some society you know that doesn't run on greed? You think Russia doesn't run on greed? You think China doesn't run on greed? What is greed? Of course, none of us are greedy. It's only the other fellow who's greedy. The world runs on individuals pursuing their separate interests. The great achievements of civilization have not come from government bureaus. Einstein didn't construct his theory under order from a bureaucrat. Henry Ford didn't revolutionize the automobile industry that way. In the only cases in which the masses have escaped from the kind of grinding poverty you're talking about, the only cases in recorded history are where they have had capitalism and largely free trade. If you want to know where the masses are worst off, it's exactly in the kinds of societies that depart from that. So that the record of history is absolutely crystal clear. that there is no alternative way so far discovered of improving the lot of the ordinary people that can hold a candle to the productive activities that are unleashed by a free enterprise system.
But it seems to reward not virtue as much as ability to manipulate the system.
And what does reward virtue? You think the communist commissar rewards virtue? You think a Hitler rewards virtue? You think, excuse me, if you'll pardon me, do you think American presidents reward virtue? Do they choose their appointees on the basis of the virtue of the people appointed or on the basis of their political clout? Is it really true that political self-interest is nobler somehow than economic self-interest? You know, I think you're taking a lot of things for granted. And just tell me where in the world you find these angels who are going to organize society for us. Well, I don't even trust you to do that.
That is the legendary economist Milton Friedman being interviewed by legendary television host Phil Donahue, who passed away yesterday at the age of 88, providing a masterclass on economics and, in particular, capitalism. That interview is from the year 1979. Those types of conversations with just basically great, not only curiosity on the part of Phil Donahue, but also sober analysis and sober crosstalk. Those really don't happen much anymore. Of course, there are plenty of reasons why that is the case, which maybe are a topic for another time. That'll do it for this morning. Back at it again tomorrow. I'm Aaron McIntyre, and this is the AM Update.